Hello and welcome back to another episode of Riverstone Rundown. As always, your host Alchemy here, and just wanted to go off a little bit of a tangent right off the bat with this one. It might be a little bit more again educational, only because the weather has been bad these last couple of days to like maybe even the next week going in. So I wanted to use this episode to talk about a few topics about how to stay safe during a thunderstorm and how to prepare for an outage, since we did have one a couple of days back, and there might be a potential one happening in the future with some more storms coming through. So this one will be a top 10 things you need to do for thunderstorm and top 10 things you need to do for an outage. But before we do that, as always, we'll start off with what's going on in the week. Hopefully it does happen because of the weather and a few things that is happening down in San Antonio. So let's go into it right now. Sorry, guys. I am trying to streamline this as much as possible, but unfortunately, I don't got a crew to help me out with any of this at the moment. So we'll go ahead and go into. I wonder if you guys can hear my breathing. Um, this is the Riverstone website. Of course, you guys can always do this as well if you do forget. Let's see what we got going on. Since we are gonna be, as always, on Thursdays, there's always having running and fitness club at between 6 and 7 p.m. There is a social club happening Friday, I believe. It doesn't really say which amenity center it's going on, but I believe it's probably going to be a amenity center one between 6 and 8 p.m. on Friday the 24th. Now the garage sale is this Saturday. If you haven't already registered, unfortunately the last day was the 19th on Sunday. But the garage sale will be from 8 a.m. To 2 p.m. I'm pretty sure, depending on weather. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys might have some electronics or anything like that you might want to be careful with getting dirty or rain and stuff like that. Hopefully it's not too bad. Same thing with the running and fitness club is happening at that 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then nothing really going on until the 27th, Monday. Final Fiesta pickup. It's pretty much let's see, the description here says let's tails wag and the Fiesta fun begin. Pop into the office with your pup for a positivity. I love the pun. Positivity, great time featuring treat bags, sombreros, some tail wagging Fiesta celebration. So yeah, go ahead and take you guys to your dogs, and they'll get you little treats. Hopefully, maybe there's some photos they might do. That will be from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. More likely that will probably be at Amenity 2. Usually bigger events like this, that's when will happen. And then on the 28th, again, the Runners and Fitness Club from 6 to 7 p.m. And then the next Thursday on the 30th, Running and Fitness Club again, 6 to 7 p.m. Now, let's see. Usually have the different calendar for the food trucks. They just show on the calendar some food trucks happening. So on Friday, there is booze. Imagine someone just beat you up, bro. Come on, get your butt beat. Booze Brothers from 7. Man, I am having trouble. Booze Brothers from 4 to 8 p.m. I'm not even drunk and I'm already stuttering. Let's see what they got. See, okay, so this is gonna be applying to the booze drinks. A small $9 and a large is $14. All right, they got the chocolate wasted with Ghirardelli chocolate liqueur, jasmine Irish whiskey, and chocolate chips. Strawberry vodka, fresh cut strawberries with vodka. Rum runner. Let's see, they have caramel cask, which is aged Scotch sea salted caramel liqueur with from Ghirardelli caramel. That sounds good. And then a few other ones, Chunky White Russian, Pineapple Express, Blueberry Buzz, Banana Bourbon, and they do have some non-boozy flavors. I guess, if the kids come and you want to come and they're whining about, like, I want something too, Mom, Dad. You're like, no, it's my drink. Uh, the small is about $7.50. The large is $12.50. Cookies and cream, chocolate trio, vanilla, orange cream, mint chocolate chip. I might get a boozy and a non-boozy orange cream myself. That sounds pretty good. And then for the other one, we have the Bruce Brothers was on 24th, 4 to 8 p.m. And then Monday the 27th, there is Cousin's Maine Lobster, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. See, I didn't stutter, so it was the Booze Brothers on that one. Obviously this one is gonna be a little bit more pricey, because obviously lobster is a pretty high end product. They have the rolls, averaging at $26. Maine lobster served with chilled touch mayo and a New England roll. So in Connecticut, garlic butter one. You can make some combos with chips and drinks, with $6, on tots and drinks for $7, and a whoopie pie and drinks for $8 if you want to add a few extra to that. They do have a kids meal served with tots, so grilled cheese or cheese quesadilla for $12. And then they have the specialties: lobster grilled cheese, $23; lobster tots, $23. They got some lobster tacos for $23; shrimp tacos, $18. No, that's some shrimp. Okay. Lobster tail and tots, $24; lobster quesadilla for $23. Smothered and covered tots for $10. Let's see. Oh, they also offer a take-home, the at-home lobster roll kit. It's a 1 pound to 2 pounds. Oh, yeah, a little pricey, but hey, if you get to take it at home, you get a whole pound or two, 130 to 245. It's a Maine lobster meat, New England roll, butter, mayo, lemons, everything you need to make it at home. Comes in a pound and 2 pound sizes. Maine lobster meat, just the meat by itself, a half a pound to a pound, 60 to and 110. So I mean, if you want to just take a bunch of lobster for you and take it at home, I mean, you could. I mean, what's stopping you? Besides my dry wallets. It won't be a dry weekend, but my wallet, that's definitely dry. And that's what's gonna be happening here at the neighborhood, guys. Not too much. It's the end of the month. We'll see what's going on next month. I mean, it's been raining. Some issues with electricity. Obviously, we did have a power outage. So not too much happening. Hopefully, it's a better weather next month. Fingers crossed. I know it is coming to the season. I know hurricane season is gonna be coming up soon. I might do a prep video for that as well. For people who have just moved to San Antonio, moved out of Texas, and they haven't really ever experienced hurricane season. Initially, I wasn't going to do any kind of prep videos because I was like, who wants to see that? But I was like, there's a lot of people out of state that recently moved to San Antonio, so it's good to prep them, especially for people who have never had severe weather, thunderstorms, or flash floods. I know some flash floods are a new experience for some people. Same thing as hurricanes, that they're moving from the north, what is it, mid-north or northwest. Maybe they never really experienced hurricanes, so it'll be good to just inform them, give them some advice and some prep. Let's see. Oh, I want to do a quick shout out to one of our neighbors. I did want him on the podcast, but man, he is super busy. Him and his wife are super busy. I'm not gonna say any name, like official name, just because I forgot to ask him if I can do that. I'm pretty sure they'll probably say like, yeah, sure, you can say our names, but I did want him on the podcast because they do some dope stuff. Unfortunately, they do so much that they really don't have time, and he probably doesn't really want to scale too quickly. I mean, I appreciate the vote of confidence that my podcast can do that. But he did offer to make this cool plaque for me instead, just a show of faith. And I'll make sure I can get that in frame. But, oh, look at that. That is dope. Like, let's see if we get good. And of course, I got it for my photography page, not the YouTube page, because I mean, I make more money for it off this, and I'm using alchemy photography. But man, this is some solid 3D printing material. He does it. It was super quick. He literally just told me like, "Hey, I got a free printer. I'm making it right now. It's already done." And I was like, "Oh dang." And look at the real like high quality colors that it came in, and then look at the graving, the textured graving. Um, so I'm gonna be probably having this in the background so you guys can admire. Um, but his page, now I'll probably pop it up. Right here. Trez, it's Trez, TR 3Z, dimensional 3D printing service. So that's one thing he does. He does a bunch of other real estate and other stuff, but that's the one for this particular. Yeah, some cool stuff. I saw some Pokemon Pokeballs that are like looking like EVs or other Pokemon. Really cool stuff. I know some of y'all probably have already known about them, but check them out. Dope 3D printing, super quick, super durable material. I've touched the 3D printing material at cons, and they feel a little flimsy. Don't want to hate on them, but yeah, if you're gonna be paying someone, you want some good material, and this is you can hear it. You can hear how durable that is, and just really nice color work on it, and really detailed work that he did. And I gave him my logo, and it looks legit, like exactly like it. It came out real, like nice, real. Got the little fine details that my logo had. So yeah, Trest dimensional 3D printing service. Go ahead and follow the Instagram. I'm gonna try to remember to put the link in the description. To his Instagram. If not, I'm gonna have it hopefully posted, at least the name, so you guys can type it in there. And most of y'all are like CIA service when it comes to investigating people. But okay, let's go ahead and dive into what's happening in San Antonio. So April 24th, Viva la Fiesta at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. They're gonna be having the obviously mariachi for Fotico, the dancers, all they're gonna be having like their own little fiesta, right? If you don't want to go downtown and deal with so much people and having all the bumping, and maybe it has been getting slightly, a little rowdy. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't gone in a few years for that reason. It's super packed, and just so you know, the United has family friendly as it used to be, and if you want to make sure you want to stick with that family friendly vibe, and this is your first time doing Fiesta, especially from out of town, go to Six Flags. Viva la Fiesta. April 24th. I'm pretty sure they're going to have a little bit of recurring, hopefully the next weekend. And then on April 25th, the Pearl has a farmer's market. It will be recurring weekly Saturday until December 26th of 2026. So they started to do the farmer's market at the Pearl. Haven't gone myself. I have gone to the Pearl. It's an amazing space. If you're new to San Antonio, it's definitely one place to check out and experience. They do a bunch of festivals. There's a lot of cool restaurants, bars, and little boutiques. Restaurants do believe sometimes what's that word that they do? Where you pay your parking. Validate your parking. There you go. They validate your parking. So yeah, go check it out. Some of them do, not all. So pick and choose which one you guys to go to. But yeah, the Pearl has started doing their farmers market again. Let's see. That started this 25th. Now April 26th, the Riot Comedy Club presents Sunday night stand-up comedy showcase. It'll be recurring weekly on Sundays until December 27th at the Riot Riverwalk Comedy Club. I'm promoting this one instead of the Lobo Comedy Club only for the fact that my dude Patrick Christopher, he's one of the guys that usually hosts this show. It's a real awesome dude, super funny. Hopefully one day I can get him on the podcast and talk about him and talk about San Antonio a little bit for people who don't know too much, and they don't know where to go out. Comedy clubs are a great place to start, guys. Local comedians, and just a great time. So yeah, Riot Comedy Club, April 26th. You guys can go ahead and check it out. Let's see, and then that's pretty much for the most part what's happening. I mean, obviously there's always a million things that are happening in San Antonio. But of course, I can't do every little thing about San Antonio. I pick a few, choose the ones that I feel like are slightly more interesting and try to make them slightly more different every week. Try not to be too repetitive with the information. But let's go ahead and start off with um, thunderstorms and 10 things you need to do to prep for a thunderstorm. I'm gonna try to see if I can get a little song going in 3, 2, 1. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I'll see how the editing goes after that if I have time. Okay, so we'll start off with number one on prepping for thunderstorms. So number one, pay attention to severe thunderstorm warnings. Monitor your local weather reports and pay attention to severe thunderstorm warnings. It's critical to stay informed. Warnings mean severe weather is right around the corner, and if necessary, you must act quickly to ensure your safety. So if you do get that notification on Facebook, Instagram, or even just just that little thing you get from your iPhone or Android, please don't ignore it, guys. The weather and storms have been getting more and more dangerous. Lately, unfortunately, we did have that accident a couple back at a camp, and I don't want to bring up some bad memories, but warnings are there for a reason, and things can escalate really quickly. So please, 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 keep track. And then number two, know the difference between a thunderstorm watch and a warning. And knowing the difference between severe thunderstorm watch and warnings is essential. A thunderstorm watch means that the weather conditions are just right for a severe thunderstorm to develop, while a warning means that a severe thunderstorm is happening or about to happen. If there's a thunderstorm watch, be on the lookout for regular checkups for updates considering heading home if you're outdoors. If there's a warning, take more immediate action to protect yourself. So yeah, if you're out and about and you're planning to be out all day and you're already getting like updates about a thunderstorm coming up and in the next few hours, like don't risk it. I know sometimes we wanna go out on a weekend or we're been cooped up all day, but it's better to be safe than sorry, guys. So number three, prepare against windstorm damage. So this is one that pretty much you gotta make sure that your windows are prepped. So it is thunderstorms happen more frequently during the spring and summer, so it's important time of year to prepare for damage. Trim your trees, remove dead branches around your home to guard against windstorm damage. Additionally, secure outdoor furniture, decoration, and loose objects. Strong winds will turn these into projectiles that come and pose a severe threat. Some of us have the wind chimes or our plants hanging. If you already see them moving, and a storm is about to come, that obviously is going to be even worse. And of course, we don't want to deal with the hassle of calling the insurance, getting them to come in. Now we got to do our copay, stuff like that. It's annoying. I had to do it for a water damage issue a while back, and it's extremely annoying. So number 4, consider installing storm shutters. So this is more if you got the time and money. But if your location experienced severe thunderstorms, consider installing storm shutters on your windows to provide window protection against strong winds, flying debris. These shutters help withstand extreme weather conditions and can keep your home protected. This one, is definitely more, pick and choose if you want to do this one. Obviously, this is Texas. We don't really get too bad of like stuff flinging, at least here. I know up north, Dallas and that area, that do have tornadoes in the outside areas. That probably would be a little bit more better to have. But if you have the money and you just want to have that extra safety, consider installing storm shutters. Number 5, sandbag your doorways. Flooding and water damage is a severe threat during a severe thunderstorms. You can place sandbags around your doorways to help protect your homes from flooding during severe weather. They work by creating a barrier to help redirect and absorb water, sending the water away from your home's foundation. Now, that one I didn't know, but sandbags. I don't know if some Home Depot or Lowe's have them, or it's something like you have to kind of like just the bag and then buy the sand separate or dirt separate and make them yourself. That is something that you can look into your local Home Depot or Lowe's. But that's definitely something that if for some reason wind is that bad or water levels are coming up from and especially if you're in a downhill somewhere here in the neighborhood and it's starting to flood a little bit more in your area, it's always a good option to protect yourself on that end. Now, number 6, protecting lighting, or no, I'm sorry. Number 6, practice lightning safety. When indoors during a thunderstorm, stay away from windows, doors, electrical appliances. If possible, unplug electrical devices to protect them from power surges caused by lightning. You should always avoid taking showers or bath as water conducts electricity. So yeah, power surges is probably the best option if you really don't want to unplug everything. I'm pretty sure it is annoying. I have like a million things plugged into outlets, which I probably shouldn't have. Um, but power surges, check your power surges. This one I do advise myself only because like my TV and the last major thunderstorm, my TV, my PS5 got fried. And oh my god, I was so pissed. Turns out my power surge was it works, but it didn't do what it needed to do because itself is already old and worn out. So yeah, check your power surges. Like yeah, they're providing power, but if the little light that's the little red light that some of them have, or if we already have them like 2, 3, 5 years old, probably best just to get a new one. My little light wasn't working, but it was of course still providing power. But it didn't protect my devices, so I had to get a new TV and I had to get a new PS5. So yeah, definitely check your power surges if you don't want to go through the hassle of just unplugging everything. But obviously the safest action is to unplug all your devices. Number 7. Sorry if I'm really talking loud into this or you hear everything. Trying to get this a little bit away from my stuff. Number 7, stay away from water. Avoid bodies of water such as lakes, ponds, pools, rivers during thunderstorms. As we said before, water conducts electricity, and lightning can strike the water surface at any time. I know that's probably not a big problem here, but if it's like you already see flooded areas and you really can't get home, don't risk going out in the water or anything like that. Please, like safety first. Always think about safety first. Number 8, wait indoors. After a thunderstorm has passed, wait at least 30 minutes from wait 30 minutes from when you stop hearing thunder or seeing lightning before going outside. Lightning can still pose a threat even after a thunderstorm has moved. So that is something that I didn't know. I thought, once it's gone away, you're good. But apparently, I guess lightning can travel pretty far away from the actual clouds and strike you down if they really want to get you. Now, number 9, avoid open areas. If you're outdoors when a thunderstorm strikes, try to get inside as possible. If you can't get home or inside buildings, seek shelter in a vehicle. Avoid open fields, hilltops, tall structures that can conduct lightning. So this is probably more if you're already stuck in the storm and you're stuck in your vehicle. Best just stay in your vehicle. I know sometimes people are like, oh, your vehicle, you still get struck. At least there's something around you protecting you from the lightning. I mean, hopefully that is enough to like at least survive and minimal damage and minimal harm to yourself and your family. But please just don't go walking through a storm trying to get home. Now, number 10, practice storm preparedness. Be proactive and have a family emergency plan in place for your storm preparedness. Create an emergency kit with essential supplies like food, water, flashlights, batteries, and first aid kits. Battery-powered radio. All right, that was a very important one if you want to keep track with your weather and get updates. Educate yourself and your family on severe weather safety protocols. Establish designated areas of safety in your home, such as basements or interior rooms. We already have a lot of basements here in San Antonio. Interior rooms without windows, where you can take shelter during severe thunderstorm warnings. Pay attention to your severe thunderstorm warnings and stay informed about changing weather conditions is crucial. Being proactive and prepared can ensure safety for yourself and your loved ones during severe thunderstorms. So yeah, climate has been getting worse. Summer's getting hotter. Winters are getting colder. Rain season's getting worse. It's probably best to start getting those used to those routines and rebuying supplies and practice drills and just really ensure to the family that we have everything ready and we know what to do. So let's stay prepared and stay safe, everybody. Now let's go with the Let's see. We're gonna go over here and do now the top 10 things for a power outage. Um, like if you're already in a power outage, and these are probably like the 10 relatively best steps to take first. Obviously, everything can change situational, and this is through the whole video. Everything is situational. These are not like 100% step by step exactly what to do. Use your best knowledge, use your best judgment with all the knowledge and safety precautions that you already have in place. So, number one, report the outage. Immediately report the outage to CPS Energy online or by phone to ensure that they are aware of the issue. So, the faster our electric company knows, the faster hopefully they can resolve the issue. And of course, friends and family can check your area and see, which areas are already affected. And then it helps the online website too to know which areas are affected. Number two, keep refrigerators and freezers closed. Keep doors closed to maintain cold temperatures. An unopened fridge stays cold for 4 hours. A freezer can hold temperature up to 24 to 48 hours. That is something that probably is very hard to do, guys. I mean, I'm one. I am one that is at fault of that. I get nervous. I kind of want to check, making sure, hey, is this still cold? Is this still fresh? It's hard to do, but yeah, let's keep those refrigerators and freezers closed, guys. Number 3, unplug electronics and appliances. Turn off and disconnect computers, TVs, large appliances to prevent damage from power surges and when electricity is stored. That goes back to that Thunderstorm one. So this one's pretty much saying when power comes back on, that can still damage our appliances and electronics. That I didn't know. But again, once there's already a power outage and you already have one, probably the best thing would probably just to rebuy your power surges. If you have the ones with the little light indicators, that those are usually the ones that tell you that, okay, you need to rebuy or not. The ones that don't, that's a little more tricky. Obviously the safest thing would be always rebuy any power surges every time it goes out if you don't have the light. But of course it's a lot, money every time. But it's, we only have a couple months out of the year, so it's probably better safe than sorry. Number 4, use generators safely. If you have a generator, this is probably one to listen to. Never run a generator inside a home, garage, or near windows vents to avoid carbon monoxide poisoning. Same thing when you get goes back to safety and common sense. You don't want to turn on the car in a garage. We've seen all those horror movies and bad news outlets. With people passing away. Same thing with generators, especially gasoline powered generators. It's the same concept. You can't have them indoors, and even if you prop your window open, then you made your home unsafe with the window open, so it contradicts itself. So let's try to keep a close eye on where we have our generators in our homes. Number 5, utilize emergency lighting. Use flashlights, headlamps, or battery-operated lanterns instead of candles to avoid fire hazards. So that one's another one to the preemptive safety. Go buy flashlights, get extra batteries. I know there's flashlights, the ones where you shake to recharge. I don't know if they still sell those. I know that was a while back, but I'm pretty sure Amazon might have something like that. So that could be one option for you guys to look into. Number 6, stay informed. Monitor local weather, news reports via a battery-powered or hand-cranked radio, and it goes back to the other safety precaution back in Thunderstorm one. Number 7, manage indoor temperature. During cold weather, wear layers and gather in one room. During heat, stay hydrated, go into lower floors or shade. So that one just depends on how it is during the day and during the storms. Usually for our storms are a lot more colder. So, try to stay warm. Of course, if the power goes out, that varies if your home gets hot quickly versus it stays cool. So if it's a storm that's already bringing in the cold, probably best just to, stay warm. Number 8, check on neighbors. Now, this one is definitely one that's more like, if you know your neighbors, if it's safe to, obviously, you don't want to put yourself in danger. But check on the elderly or vulnerable neighbors, friends, family to ensure their safety. So if you're able to, and it's safe, if there's older neighbors around you, or there's some family that just moved in and maybe don't have a lot of resources, if you have the opportunity, if you have their number and power and you're able to call them, check on them. It's the neighborly thing to do, and we want to make sure everyone's safe. Number 9, keep freezers cold and use ice. If the outage is long, use ice in coolers for perishables, or fill milk jugs with water and freeze them beforehand. That's another prep one for having like a family prep list and having everything prepared beforehand. Number 10, avoid down power lines. Treat all down and hanging lines as energized and stay at least 35 feet away. Reporting them immediately to CPS Energy. So this one is like if you see something happen to one of our power lines, or if you're on Tally and you see them coming back, or Wiseman, yeah, let's report. Faster we tell CPS, the faster they'll get everything fixed. And again, doing the neighborly thing. The more people are informed, the more we inform ourselves, and letting people know in the group chats, like, hey, there's a power line down on this street. Let's stay away. It's not something to play around with in these situations. But yeah, those are your top 10 preps that you gotta do for an outage. So hopefully that was informative for you guys. I was hoping to have a little bit more of a fun one for you guys today, but I've been seeing a lot on the chats about like issues with it, and then seeing on our weather apps that it could possibly again happen to us within this coming week. So I'd rather have been safe than sorry. I guess that would be my neighborly thing to do, especially with people who have moved from different states to San Antonio and haven't really experienced any of this before. Hopefully it is something that can help you and prepare you and your family. This video might be slightly shorter than others for that reason. But I did want to make this for you guys. Another thing I've been seeing is a lot of and I'm not trying to shame or throw some shade on any neighbors, but since there is a lot of bad weather, thunderstorms, and floods coming, let's double check on our pets, our fence areas, our gate doors, double checking that our dogs or cats are not near us when we open the doors to leave in the morning or afternoon. Because I have been seeing a lot of stray dogs or loose dogs or people losing their animals lately. It is sad. I did help one person because I saw a dog walking, and they went up to me friendly. They went and licked my hand and they left. I looked at them, and I waited like maybe 30 seconds to see like maybe their owner's just walking behind them. Didn't see no owner, so I ran and I grabbed the dog, and luckily the caller had numbers. I called the numbers, and they were able to pick up their dog. Luckily there was no severe weather happening that day. But the more I've noticed a few more issues of people losing their dogs, or dogs, and it's nothing. Dogs dig, they can escape it. It's hard sometimes. Sometimes you just open the door, you're like, oh, let me grab something real quick, and then they dart right out your door. I've had it before in the past when I lived in apartments. Yeah, they see something outside and they want to dart, especially with a little squirrel. Boom. But like, yeah, let's try doing. I would say, all the neighbors here are really awesome. Obviously people are posting like, hey, there's dogs here. Like, hey, I have someone's dog in my backyard. They're safe, and contact me. You guys are doing awesome. Reporting these animals or taking them in and taking care of them until their owners pick them up. So I would say let's try as a community. Let's keep going. Let's keep protecting these animals. Because the last thing we want is for someone's dog to be stuck during a thunderstorm or a flash flood. It's extremely sad when it happens to animals, to family, loved ones. So let's try to stay safe out there ourselves, and our furry babies. Let's keep them all safe and keep this neighborhood safe. If you see any issues with anybody's I am sorry, you guys heard that. With anybody's outdoor equipment or anything like that, you seen that there's things getting flung around, give them a knock on the door, let them know like, hey, your stuff's getting flung around. Might want to bring them in, for safety, or for they don't want to fling into another neighbor's yard or window. But that is definitely the main topics I wanted for this video was just weather safety, flood safety, and let's bring in dogs if we can, if they're outdoor dogs. I know some people might have some outdoors. Let's prep maybe our garages, just a makeshift little doggy home. That's better than them being outside during a flood or a severe thunderstorm. If you don't want them inside your home, I understand some people want them outside. At least let's compromise with the garage. If there's any other helpful tips that people know, comment below, and people can see that, and hopefully we can get everyone safe. If y'all want any kind of shout out to any kind of like emergency respond numbers or emergency personnel that's in the neighborhood, like I know some first responders, ER techs, nurses that in the community. I'm not saying to like tag them in the comments or anything like that, unless they want to. But maybe we kind of create that safety net here in the community, because we have 911, we have our hospital close by, but that can take a while still during these storms, and they get stuck in floods, or there's an accident on the road that takes them longer, because I think the minimum time they're probably going to take is anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. But if we have our fellow responders here, fellow nurses, or fellow techs in the community that could respond quicker, maybe that is something that could be started, like a neighborhood ER, neighborhood 911. I don't know how legal that is. I'm not a lawyer. If there's a lawyer, let me know. Like, hey, be quiet in the comments before you get sued or anything like that for malpractice. But let's brainstorm. Get everything situated. But let's not go crazy either. Like, let's not go to HEB and raid all their toilet papers, all their waters. Let's not make another gas shortage, which I feel like that would not happen with the prices of gas right now. I don't think no one's gonna go with no gas shortage at this moment. But yeah, let's also not over panic either. Just because I made a video, which I'm not big enough to cause a riot at HEB or anything like that. But just in general, if you see it on the news, or you see anything like boom, 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 headliners and destruction of San Antonio or whatever, news is news. So let's not get into that propaganda of like, oh, we need to buy out everything. We need to buy out Walmart, HEB, Buc-ee's. Or stay away from my Buc-ee's. All right, like, leave my jerky alone. Leave my brisket sandwich alone. If you haven't been to Buc-ee's because your first time here, go to Buc-ee's. Amazing. It's an experience. But yeah, let's just do the precautions like normal. Let's all keep a level head, and let's all be neighborly and take care of one of another. Same thing, take it speeding on the road. There's not the time for us to be having road rage or anything like that. Let's be safe. The kids are still going to school. I wish they weren't, but sometimes the weather's not bad enough for them to not have school days. So let's slow down. Let's be safe. No road rages. As much as sometimes honking or slow people can be frustrating, it's better to be safe. I think it's the standard to be 5 to 10 under the speed limit. I could be wrong about that. But that is definitely something that you know is should be more implemented now more than ever with these weather situations with the rain, because with the construction, I'm pretty sure there's a lot more oil on the roads than we um think, especially with a lot of them probably now like leaving a lot of their stuff there because they're not building in the rain. So wind can bring up nails and equipment and flinging trash bags and hit your windshield all of a sudden, or throwing nails and debris on the road. They cause flats, and pop a tire or anything like that. So please let's be more cautious on the road. Do keep it under the 10 the speed limit, as much as that could be annoying in the mornings, with all the backup traffic and everything like that. And if it's not too safe, call in PTO, sick time. One day of the job cannot be worth your safety. So yeah, especially for people who've moved here from a different state and don't know how it is, better safe than sorry. Better to observe how the driving situation is before getting yourself in the situation. The San Antonio can be a little crazy with their driving. I'm not here to judge. I'm one of them myself. Beforehand, now that I have my own family, I'm definitely now more of the minivan and driving the speed limit kind of person. So safety first for everybody. And so yeah, it's prepare usage 10 steps for a thunderstorm, on 10 steps per power outage, and let's bring our fur babies inside or in the garage. Let's keep the community safe by the speed limit, and making sure that we're helping people when we can, avoiding situations before they happen, and protecting the kids with the speed. As long as we do that, I feel like we can definitely get past this um, weather season of rain, power outages, and floods safely and calmly. This is, like I said, going to be a more shorter video because I just wanted to focus on that specifically. So when people want to come back, I'm sorry, when people want to come back to this video, they can just see that and they focus on that versus everything else. So thank y'all very much for watching the third episode of Riverstone Rundown. As always, I'm your host, Alchemy. I'll see you next time. Thank you.